Hello. Hello, Journey. How you doing? All right. Woo. Well, this is exciting. Back with some streams again. Cozy time. And it's time to build a beaver habitat. Good. It's good to have you back. So, yeah, I don't even know where to start today. Hello, Diz. I think we should probably talk about the Planet Zoo stream that happened earlier on today. I think that would probably be a good start, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about what's going on today. But first of all, I'm just going to clear my kind of. Hello, Lep. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Lep is a very good friend of mine from the chaotic 2 Point Campus Discord. Yeah, it was great to see you in the stream too, Diz. Are you excited for the expansion? Because I sure as hell am, honestly. Just going to remove those track supports because I'm going to be building here, so we need to make some adjustments to that. I'm going to turn this off a second. I'm glad you could make it, Lep. So you're going to meet everyone from the community, hopefully, if they come along today. We've got a number of people who kind of just come here for Planet Zoo. Some have watched me play 2 Point Campus, loads of stuff. Hello, Georgia. Welcome to the stream. Lep's really cool, very chaotic. I'm not going to vigor up too much, but yeah, one of the most welcoming people in the 2 Point Campus community. So if you do play 2 Point Campus and you want to come to the Discord and chat with us, if you can keep up, because I'm an old man and I can't keep up at all. And have you played Necrom yet, Lep? I did a little bit for about half an hour. So I got into it. I made my Arcanist. I'm very excited to play that. So that's what I'm going to be doing a bit later on. I'm not going to stream it because I've got leveling to do, and I'm going to get on with that. No one wants to see me kind of grinding, running around. But I hope you do enjoy Necrom. It looks really good. The Arcanist looks like it's going to be a great class, and I'm really excited to do that and play that. But yes. So tonight is Planet Zoo. We're going to be building a North American beaver habitat right up here. So if you followed last time, we had our lovely bear habitat over here. I have the gondola, which I'm going to work on. And then we've got this. Of course, the stream. New features are going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to them. But what animals do you think they were making if you did catch the stream? What were they making out of that horrible sand? Drop some comments in the chat. Let me know what you think they're going to be giving us, and I'll tell you my opinion. I don't have time to do a speculation video, so you'll not see me going wild. I've just realised the speculation video I did, I wore this exact shirt last time, so I don't think we're going to get anything that I want, but Bacterian Camel will be pretty cool, especially with new spitting mechanics coming in. It did look a lot like a Sphinx, actually, Diz. It really did. Anyway, while you guys are speculating amongst yourselves, I'm going to do some adjustments here. So what I want to do is, beavers like a lot of water-based stuff. So given that we have this little bit of a waterfall at the top here that spills over into our capybara habitat, I thought it would be a good idea to have our beavers in this little area here. Now, you can already see I've got a little bit of work to do with the water here, which I want to kind of imitate a waterfall kind of coming in from the bear habitat, going into there. And then here, we're going to build a underwater viewing area that's going to be on this side, where guests are going to be able to come. Excuse the litter. We'll clean that up, I promise. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have like a little sleeping area in the middle. So I don't know if you know how beavers build their dens, but basically what they'll do is, in the dam, they'll have it constructed and they'll be able to access a sleeping area and safety area where the females will be able to give birth, and it'll be a totally safe area away from predators that only the beavers can access. So what they'll do is they'll dive under the water, come up, and there'll be kind of like a cave almost den in that dam where they have safety and protection and they can do everything that they need to do. So I'm going to create that in this habitat. So that's basically what I'm looking to do in this. Whether it's going to be possible, I don't know. So we'll just see how this goes. I am going to need to remove my water from here, because what I will aim to do is, rather than use this barrier that I've created here, we'll get rid of this, and I'll try and extend the barrier that I've already created for this underwater area here, and we'll try and extend it up. So I'm going to remove these tropical rocks to begin with. just to reveal the barrier that I've got there. And then we're actually going to have to delete this barrier a little bit because I've got a little bit of terrain work to do. And then we'll get on with it. So you can kind of get an idea of where I want this to happen. Hopefully, I've not actually checked the Zoopedia for the beavers, so this might be a little bit more difficult than I first thought. But we need to just remove this barrier here. Right, that gives us a little bit of space to work with. And then we'll flatten to foundation here. So we'll just take out all of this rock that's sticking out here. Try and just bring it all across. I'm just going to increase the size of my brush. So get all of this leveled out. There we have it. And then we kind of have a little bit of an area where I'm going to be putting the water. I know, that would be fantastic, Lep, if we could just pick large masses of water up and shift them around. Okay, right. Fueled up. Let's see if we can get this to work. So my idea then, because this is a little bit higher than it previously was, I think we're probably going to have to do a little bit of a two-step system here. So if we get one glass barrier going, we kind of need to keep this as it is. Although I suppose what might work is, rather than just using this barrier, if we get rid of all of this here, and then extend that large body of water that I've got there, so we could actually get rid of all of this barrier here. Or what we might do, actually this might be a better idea. So I'll adjust this one slightly. We'll bring this around here, add an extra bit in there. And we'll just curve this one all the way around. Hopefully this is going to make sense to you guys when I finally finish it. The one problem I'm having is, where does this barrier... I can't see where I've put the original barrier. There it is. Right, then, if we just get this entire barrier here, we can get rid of that little piece there that's sticking out. I just deleted the whole thing. What an idiot. There we go. There it is. I never expected to come back here and have to do adjustments, so that's why it's been a little bit of a finicky one to begin with. So we'll increase the height of this, then we'll put our water back in, and we want to make it rough water this time. I think that's about the level I was looking for last time. Yeah, that's great, that's what we want. Then we'll go back into our barrier, highlight it all again, and bring it back down so that it's level with the water. Now, hopefully this is going to start making sense very soon. So what I want to do is we want to go back over to this body of water here. We're going to remove the water from it. There. And then we're going to completely redevelop this barrier here. So what we want to try and create is a kind of stepping system, I guess. So I'm going to just remove that. Then we're going to carry this barrier on all the way along so it matches up with that. But we want the height to stay as it is. So we don't really want the height here to change. We want it to be consistent. And then we'll just drop this barrier down here so that it's again level with the water. Now, actually, I think this entire section is going to have to come up. So we'll come all the way along to here. If it ain't rocks, it's water and barriers. So, yeah, that's the next step. Right, we'll bring this all the way up. So I'm going to try and keep that level, and then we'll just take this one away. So we're just working on this structure. We'll pull this all the way up so it's level... Why is it grabbing the one thing I didn't want it to grab? Come on. Come on, game. We're going to bring you back down so that you're level. That's about as level as I'm going to get it right now, which is okay. We can play around and make adjustments as we see fit. Next up, we're going to go over to this side here. And what I want to do is I want to try and keep my height the same. So let's snap to adjacent heights. And I think that's what I need to do. So now this height should remain consistent. We'll bring it all the way up as close as we can to the water edge here. and then we'll start working our way around. Oops. What we kind of need next is to figure out where we're going to be putting our larger structure for our beavers, where they're going to be able to hide and stuff. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be everything that they do. Lep, this has taken years of practice. This was the game that I kind of came into YouTube and stuff with, so I've kind of had a lot of practice. Nowhere near as much as some others, but I'm getting there, definitely. And then what we'll probably do is, you can see where this is going to back out onto, where our guests are going to come up into this mountain biome and then go through to see our grizzlies. And this is all going to be water. What I need to do now, though, is have a look at the Zoopedia for the beavers. We'll see what they actually need. Fair bit of land requirement, water requirement, and deep water requirement as well. Now, what we could do is, where we're going to have our middle point here, we could bring up some terrain to increase the land mass that we've got. And then we'll give them a little bit of space so that they can kind of come in and then they can explore around this area here. We'll make that a little bit of a forest or something, and this is all now going to be filled with water. So let's first of all put in our calm water here. I want to try and get it as deep as I possibly can. So that's valid, and that's fairly deep, but I'd like it to go right up. So what we need is, we want to try and get it level with the last enclosure for our grizzlies. And as you can see here, we've got a little bit of land mass there that we want to get rid of. So what I'm going to need to do now then is try and just grab this entire barrier, highlight that whole section, not these bits. Okay, we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, going all the way around, and then get it lined up as best we can and drag up like so. And then this bit here, we'll bring you back down to hide the barrier beneath the rocks. Next up, we will add in our in fact, just before I do this, I'm going to try and extend this barrier here, because what I want to then do is add in some water features, so it looks like the water's flowing underneath our grizzly enclosure where this walkway is. So we want to try and get these barriers as close as we can to the path, so that I can then hide them with some rocks or something. So it might look a little bit unnatural, but we are getting somewhere with it. Yeah, okay, right. And then let's see if our water will go in a little bit higher. I don't think it will. It's giving me exactly the same. It won't go higher than that. So one of these barriers must need to come up a little bit more. It might actually be the terrain that's here that we need to sort out. Yeah, this is one of the reasons it can be quite difficult to work with the water in Planet Zoo. But what we'll do is we'll take out, flatten the foundation, as much of this landscape as possible. That should give me a little bit more space to work with. So if you've not played around with water too much in Planet Zoo, one of the issues that are, you know, like quite prevalent issues in it is that the water goes up in 1 meter increments. You can see here, actually, I've just taken the landscape away, and now these barriers have a hole in the bottom. So you kind of need to do a slight adjustment, and then it'll fill in the bottom. I don't know why. It's just a quirk of the game, I guess. But yes, water can be quite difficult to work with in Planet Zoo because of the way that the barriers and terrain work. If you have a little bit of terrain, it can try and match to the terrain instead of the barriers that you're playing around with, and that can be very difficult. You can see here I'm having a lot of issues now, and it is still not... here's the culprit, I think. So let's just edit this barrier here. We'll bring this up again, and then bring this one up. It's still not doing it, which is quite annoying. Actually, if we just have a look at what we've got as a viewing area here, I think that kind of works. So what we could do is we'll leave this as this height here. It is higher than that, so we can do a little bit of running water going over the top, and we can have a little bit more running water coming in here. So it's a little bit, yeah, I think this is going to work. Just to save me faffing around for even longer when I've got stuff that I want to be getting on with, we can now just try and pull this all the way down and work out where our actual terrain is going to go. You can see it's not going to let me bring this down much further, so we'll have to go individually. And we'll just grab whatever barriers we can and pull them down so that they almost hit the water. If there's anything sticking out, it's not much of a problem. We can cover these up with rockworks. That's where our culprit is. You see that bit of landscape there? Because that's such a small amount, it's not working properly. And what I'd have to do is I'd have to go in and edit these barriers so that I could free up the terrain and then remove the terrain. I could just make it a bit smaller, but I really don't want to. So we're going to just pull everything down, get everything matched up, and then any sort of issues that we have with our barriers, we can just cover them with some rocks, and that'll make our lives a lot easier and save us a bunch of time. Just trying to get this to get to the point where it's going to let me complete the adjustment. It's still not going to let me do it. Oh my god. We always have some issue on stream, so if it's not rocks and animals escaping, it's obviously going to be this. Yeah, it really doesn't like that. It won't let me adjust that at all. And again, it's because of this. So I think, sorry to do this, everyone. We're going to just remove the barrier again. I'll get rid of this water. Now I know what the problem is. We can make some adjustments to this barrier and just get it all finished off. It was definitely this causing the problems. Right, now we'll get rid of these and this and just go all the way around. Get rid of all of the places where the land is. So if you are going to play around with barriers, my best advice is make sure that the land where your barrier is just completely flat. It's going to save you a lot of issues like we've had here. And it will just save you a lot of time and backing and forthing and stuff, and it just makes the whole build process a lot easier. Like here now, we're going to come in, I'm going to try and get this smoothed out. Because that path is there, I'm not going to be able to do it properly. So what I think I'll do is I'll just smooth this down, and we will have the water coming out through here, and we'll cover it with rocks. We'll just so that I can now put in a barrier that's going to work. We're going to add in some glass right here. This ain't going to work. In fact, what we'll do is we'll make a brand new barrier. So we'll not do this at all. We'll add in a barrier right next to this current barrier. So as long as it doesn't snap. There. Now we'll start moving this around, and as long as this remains flat, little bit of a problem there, so we'll just edge around it, and then we'll keep going. I think that might have been the only problem area. So if we now just keep adding barriers along here, we leave the tiniest of gaps towards this barrier. Then what we can do is just grab this entire section of this barrier. This is... what a nightmare start this has been. Right, we'll bring this all the way down here. And then we'll bring this all the way down so that it's completely level. We now have that little structure in place. These pieces here, we're going to just move this one along to here so that it's really flush. And then that tiny little gap there is where we'll put our waterfall in. Next up, we'll go over to here. We'll bring all of these up as high as we possibly can so that it's level with the rest of this habitat here. Now we'll put our water back in. Come on. Give me something. Right, up a little bit more. Can we go higher? We can't go any higher, but that's because of these barriers here. So if we edit these ones and bring this up so that it's level. Hello, Ian. How you doing, mate? Have you made it home from work? You have not missed much. You've just missed a lot of messing around with barriers, trying to get everything into place. And yeah, it's been a tough start. Right, we're still getting obstructions here. There we go. We've gotten a little bit higher. Can we get higher? If not, where are the problem areas? Constant diagnosis of things here. I'm pleased you do, Lev, because this is an absolute nightmare. It's not going to go any higher again. But let's have a look. Is that enough of a viewing area for our guests? I think so. So what we'll do is we'll close this off now, and then we can potentially work something out off cam for that. But what I want to do is I want to get on with this habitat build, because we've spent already about 20 minutes trying to work this out. But I do have the luxury now of being able to highlight this whole thing and hopefully just bringing it down. Ah, you stupid game. Come on. Right, okay. Not going to work that, is it? Right, let's get to our barriers again. We're going to remove this. I think the best thing to do is just highlight the whole thing, delete it, and we'll diagnose this whole section again. Bye-bye. Right, barrier is gone. Now then, I'm actually going to delete this path now because it's causing me no end of frustrations. So let's just have a look at what we can do here to actually try and hide this barrier a little bit more. If I can get my terrain brush here and just flatten this entire foundation all the way out so that it's matching this pathway. In fact, no, let's not do that. Let's pull everything along to this level here. Then there's going to be a little bit more of a dip at our viewing area. So we'll just make it quite a harsh transformation here. Flatten it all out. And then hopefully, after a little bit of a reset now, we can actually get on with this and do it properly. Instead of me panicking and causing utter chaos. I've destroyed the natural landscape of this zoo already, and it does not look great. So we are going to have to put a little bit more effort in and try and bring our A game for anyone who's new in the stream tonight. What do I think is going to be coming with the new pack? I think we're going to get dromedary camels. I think that's a bit of a given. I can't imagine it's going to be anything other than that. I'm going to get rid of this path now, actually, because there's been this little nubbin of terrain that has been here since the beginning that is really annoying me, and I just want to patch it out. There we go. Right, that's gone now. Get our flatten the foundation tool back in. I'm going to get rid of all of this terrain here. That's going to make my life a lot easier. So that's now gone. Right, we're on it. I think we're getting dromedary camels. I think we'll probably get porcupines. I personally think... So, Leaf has put out a video, and I think it's probably the most on-point prediction for what we're going to be getting. He mentioned the... Oh my god, what is it called? A type of baboon. It begins with an H. I think that's what we're getting. I also reckon he was spot on with the porcupine. Well, he didn't mention porcupine. So I think it's porcupines. I think that was one of the hints. I think it was probably the most on-the-nose hint of the whole stream. Dromedary camels, spitting mechanics, all of that sort of stuff. It just makes sense. Like, why wouldn't it be? And then I reckon we're also probably going to be getting a couple of exhibit animals. The horned... there was like a horned type of reptilian animal. I think we'll be getting that. And I also reckon we're probably going to end up with some sort of maybe a lizard, which I think would be really cool. And potentially, I think it might... See, one of those little desert cats, I think we'll get something like that. I think that'd be a good call. But again, it all remains to be seen. What we actually end up with. So are you gonna play ball with me right now, Planet Zoo, please? We can do this. You can do it. I know you can. Just give me that little curved slope, please. That was gonna go. It's not gonna be exactly what I want, but it definitely tried to snap there. You saw it snap. You surely did. Oh, that's awful. We can't have that. We'll get rid of that. And if I just change the length to 3, is this now going to give me a nice... Ha! We did it. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but we did it nonetheless. Now our... Yep, you've found the path. Well done. Ah, we've done it. Now, hello, Pandy. You've come to the point where we're now actually going to do some proper work, and I'm going to get it right this time, because I've just had an absolute nightmare. Right, then. Let's pull this up as close as we can to our path here, and we'll bring it out a little bit. Then bring it up further, see if I can get this right. Not quite. We'll have to bring it a bit further into the enclosure. And up we go. There we have it. Right then. Now, people. Now is our time to shine. I'm going to show you that I'm not an amateur. It's not always like this, Lep, I promise. We have a new... member here joining for the stream for the first time. So everybody who is just joining us, welcome left to the stream. Path's not my nemesis tonight. My nemesis tonight, Pandy, is water and barriers. They are not playing ball tonight so far, and I'm ready to rage quit and do something totally different tonight. So we need to get it right now. It's got to work. And... if it doesn't, I'll be most unimpressed. And these beavers will be sacrificed to Rufus Yeetus. Oh, God. Honestly, I feel like, even without chat being involved, I feel like I'm struggling as much as... the 2 Point community team do when we make them stream and ruin everything for them. We haven't even introduced the beavers yet, Lep. Honestly, when we put them in and they start escaping, you're going to have a whole new level of chaos to contend with. Right, so linking it up with that barrier wasn't working, so if you're just joining us, this is exactly why I'm doing this, getting it as close as I possibly can to this barrier so that I can then create a nice little waterfall in this area. And then we'll just try and run it as best we can. Oh, God, the camera tonight. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Ron Weasley there. In case you hadn't guessed. I'm going to chuck loads of rocks at it, Ian. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah, Lep, this is your fault. You've just come to the stream, first day, and look what you're doing. Yes! It's worked! This is exactly what I was hoping for. This is the level I want. Please don't tell me that is the level it was always giving me, and I've just... I think it was the level it was always... No, it's higher. It's higher. We've done it. That's what I'm looking for. It's higher on this side. Please don't tell me it's not. Please don't tell me it's not. This is going to be an absolute nightmare. Right, we've done it. We've got that leveled up. Now, water has happened. Now, if we can just do this and then bring this down... Oh, God, come on. Right, now we're going to bring this down. We're going to get this in. Little bit by little bit. We're just going to slowly bring this down. Do we have any other animal suggestions? Oh, another one I thought it was actually one I speculated in the tropical pack. I think we might be getting the Javan rhino. That was one that kind of stuck out to me in the stream. Obviously, if we're going to go with like specific packs, like we have, like we had tropical and all of that sort of stuff. If we go with desert, the Javan rhino isn't going to go with the pack, but it could be something else. You know, we could be going. Yeah, I don't know. I just think, as well, these guys, the Javan rhino, which I think is a beautiful animal. Yeah, the barrier said no tonight. Absolutely saying no all over the shop tonight. You are not right. I have a feeling that the barrier that's going to be an issue, I'm going to be able to cover it up with rocks. The world has it in for me. The barriers, the game, LEP, everybody, the chaos is happening. For those of you who are interested, though, I will be bringing back some 2-point campus. It's just been a bit quiet lately. We've not had any updates or anything. There's no kind of new DLC announcement. So I was kind of a bit stuck for what to do in terms of new 2-point campus stuff. Obviously, on stream a while back, I designed a few thematic dorms. And I never got around to finishing those, so I could go back and carry on with some of those. Or this is the problematic barrier. And I bet it's because there's a little bit of the landscape that doesn't quite fit. So I need to try and get this up. Or is it only going to go to that point? Yeah, it is. Right, okay. So this is a problem. Because the barrier... Oh, no, it's not higher than the air. Okay, that's fine. We can work that out. That's good. That's fine. Now, this is another problematic barrier, but can I just level it up with this one? Yes. Okay, that's fine. This is all good. This is all good. Oh, thanks for the birthday message, Ian, as well. Yeah, I had a really good birthday. I ate an enormous amount of seafood at a very posh seafood restaurant. And, yeah, I had a fun time. Went for a lovely walk along the beach and ended up having some nice drinks. This is not going to adjust at all. So this barrier is the problematic one. And we're going to have to make like a little rock structure or something. It's the path in the way and the fact that the terrain down here mustn't be completely flat. Actually, you can see that the barrier itself kind of goes a little bit. When I bring that barrier down, what it's doing is it's calculating... it's basing the calculations of the water level off the lowest part of the terrain and the highest part of the barrier. The path might be in the way. I am now at the point where I'm so frustrated, I just want to move on and actually build something. So, beavers. What I then need to do is, we're going to have to get this barrier here and move it along. We're going to get this bit and we're going to make this not part of the habitat perimeter. That is then going to allow me to make a null barrier. We're going to add in a new null barrier all the way along here. And this is going to end up being quite a large beaver habitat. So we're going to do our large barrier going all the way around here. And it's going to kind of stop around about this area. And then we want it to try and match up to this glass barrier. Doesn't seem to want to because it's obstructed somehow by something. I know why that is. Yep, let's go back. We get rid of these barriers again. And then we'll get a new null barrier that is level with this terrain here. First of all, we'll come back in, we'll level this out. Just flatten it all to the foundation. You might be wondering how our actual beavers are going to get to that water area. I'm going to work that out. But first of all, I need to make sure that I've got a barrier here so I can put in a a wooden gate for our habitat so our keepers can actually access the habitat itself. That goes in. Lovely. Right, now let's get a null barrier attached to this barrier. And, okay, yes, I want a null barrier, please. Thank you. And that one. And then we'll run this all the way along to here so that it matches up with that. Then we'll add another one here that is null. I'll make a custom fence. It'll be metal. We can't have a wooden fence barrier for our beavers. They'll eat it. Yes, okay, good. Right, now then, we just have a look at our barrier here. We can see that our habitat has 648 meters squared land and 776 meters squared water, which is great. That's more than I was looking for. The next step then, what I'm thinking we could do is raise this terrain and then raise this barrier again. And that is going to give us a little bit more of a foundation for our beavers. But the problem then is going to be that our guests are going to be looking up to the beavers. So unless we raise this pathway as well, they're not going to get a good view of them. So my idea is to create like a little bit of a hill that goes up to this part here. Leave this as a level, flat ground area. And then our beavers are going to be able to kind of go up there and access the water on that area there. We'll put a nice layer of rocks in there and a new waterfall, and then we're going to give them a little bit of a jetty that sticks out here. So to begin that then, we're going to need to go into our habitat, and we want to filter by species, and it needs to be the beaver, North American beaver. There we go. So they should have the jetty bedding platform. There we go. That's what we want. And we will then have this align to... Oh, how weird. I didn't realize that it would only align to surface and not the water. But that's okay. It should just align to the surface here. And what we want to do is we want to have it go to this area here. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Now we should be able to duplicate that. And what I want to try and do is have it snap on the end. Okay, so it doesn't look like it snaps either. But we can just do this and extend the jetty out. So effectively, what we're going to be creating here then is a little bit of a feeding area and a sleeping area. And we're then going to cover it. Like I mentioned before, the beavers will have a nice bit of safety in their actual dams. So what it'll do is there'll be an area that they can swim up to. This will naturally be covered by different parts of the dam. I'll stick a webcam or something in there so that guests can actually see it. But what we'll then do is we'll build the dam around that, so it will curve over the top. It means the beavers are going to be able to swim underneath the water and get up onto this jetty platform. We'll not be able to put any food or enrichment items and stuff in here that require keeper access, because our keepers aren't going to be able to access it at all. So what we'll do is, I'm just going to duplicate this a little bit so that it's got a little bit more structure to it. So we'll pull out this way. Hello, Midnight Aura. Welcome to the stream. Quite a few of you in now. This is fun. This is nice. Nice Monday evening chill stream. And this should, theoretically, allow our beavers to have a little bit more area for exploration and stuff. Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this landscape up. And what I'll then do is I'll try and get this level with the jetty bedding. So if I can just grab this piece here, we'll bring it out. So I've got it as a bit of a guide. And then if we flatten this top piece to the foundation, then we now know what the beavers are going to have to access their pool. And then what we can do is we can create a smoother landscape. We don't want it to be too smooth because we don't want the beavers to escape off this end here. So what I'll do is I'll put some rocks and stuff in, maybe another fence that goes around that area, and then you'll be able to see we'll make a little bit of a dent in this. Oh god, I've got the wrong bloody tool selected. Oh, Midnight, thank you. Thanks, Lep. I'm so happy you brought some people over. That's so cool. Well, I'm very glad you're finding it entertaining because Lep has already brought some chaos to me. I'm so happy. That's really nice. So, LJ Ross TV community and fans of Planet Zoo, meet more members of the 2 Point Campus Discord, who I've had the pleasure of talking to over the last few months. It's really good to have everybody kind of coming together. This is a really nice kind of crossover that we're having here. So thank you so much, Leb, for bringing people in. I'm really, really pleased about that. So I do chill streams and stuff on a Monday night. Thursdays are a little bit more chaotic. I play stuff that's totally different. Normally the stuff I do, which is why 2 Point Campus features on the channel and stuff, is we do nice chilled out building simulators and stuff. At the moment we're playing a bit of Terra Nil, 2 Point Campus, then Planet Zoo is the main kind of stuff that I play, Prehistoric Kingdom, and loads of other different like building simulators. I'm planning on doing some more City Skylines because that's all getting finished off before City Skylines 2 comes out, so that's going to happen. And we do Farthest Frontier from time to time, and Chaos streams are just totally different. I normally do story games, choose your own adventure stuff. We just finished Man of Medan, then I've taken a little bit of a break. Oh god, what is it called? Oh my god, I've drawn a blank, but there's a game at the moment that is free on Steam for Pride Month. It is called Tell Me Why. That's the one. So we're going to play Tell Me Why this month. Again, it's a choose your own adventure type game with a bit of a story, nice and cinematic. I've never played it before and I'm really excited. I kind of done a little bit of a read up on what it's all about without doing too much. And basically I'll make a load of mistakes with quick time events and everyone will laugh at me and I'll jump scare and react to the stories. And then after that, we're going to be picking up Little Hope, and I will be scared out of my wits, like I very much was when we played Man of Medan. And it basically gives everyone on a Thursday a chance to rip me to shreds, which isn't supposed to happen on a Monday, but I'm getting a little bit of a theme is coming out of it now, and I'm blaming you, Lep. So... And yeah, okay, so we're only missing Wolfie, but I think Wolfie is doing the new raid in ESO tonight, so we'll not be having Wolfie joining us, unfortunately. But yes, so there will be some 2 Point Campus coming back at some point as well, but at the moment I think the monopoly of 2 Point Campus streams has to go to the guys from the dev team because they are having a hell of a time thanks to us. They basically have a help or a hinder, I can't remember what it is, help or hinder part of the stream where we all get to vote on what we are going to do to help them or ruin everything for them, and it's been a lot of fun. They play the challenge modes a lot, and we have managed to screw them over so many times in those streams. Sabotage, thank you, Midi. Right, okay, we've been staring at this for a while now, and I'm going to start working on the rock work because we need to cover all of this stuff up. Now, this is going to be interesting because we need to have a little bit of a transition between tropical and temperate rocks. So, let's have a quick look. If we go to North America, we are going to need to have our biome set to tropical and... wait a minute. Let's have a quick look at the beavers again, because I need to make sure that... Okay, temperate tiger. So we're going to go with tiger because the bears that we have already, they have a tiger biome set up as well. So let's just have a quick double check of our space requirements. So let's just imagine we've got 2 adults and 4 juveniles. You've already sabotaged me. To be fair, the game sabotages me enough anyway, so that's been one of the problems tonight. I swear it's not all like this. It's because, right, I started playing some ESO before. Normally, I prepare. So normally all of this barrier stuff and the water is already done and I can just start building. But because I decided to play Elder Scrolls Online for a little bit before I started, I didn't have time to do all of this advanced prep work. So yeah, that's my excuse. It's got nothing to do with me being just an idiot. Right, so because we've got tropical rocks here, we need to have a little bit of a phase up in between our stuff. So I'm going to put random rotation on, and then we're going to drop in a couple of rocks here. And this is where we're going to start covering up our barriers, because they look awful and we don't want anyone to see them. So again, we're going to sink these in and just start plopping them down. There we have it. Yeah, Lep, you're taking Wolfie's place tonight, I think. There's always someone. Somebody will say something's going to go wrong, and I'm like, nah, it's fine, and inevitably it ends up going wrong. So that's why we end up with these situations where I am struggling to make things work. Right, okay, so what we want to do is we want to set this down, and then we'll just start with my basic sort of stuff. Popping down some rocks. We want to get these as close as we possibly can to the top of the barrier, because this is where we're going to start forming up our waterfall. So if I just swap to this one here, and yeah, let's just bring this in and slide it down. There we go. We get that in place, just covering that barrier. And then we can start moving things around a little bit further. Again, making sure those barriers are all nice and covered up. I'm getting the lag that I don't like. My placement lag is coming in pretty hard right now, and I don't like it. So for those of you who are joining me for the first time, I've been working on this since August last year, and it has grown quite large, and I do a lot of very intricate, or I like to think it's intricate, design work in these. And as the piece count in a Planet Zoo build grows, it becomes very laggy, to the point where we were trying to build something as a stream exclusive and the game crashed, and it just it got abandoned. So this is probably going to be one of the final few builds here, maybe. I don't know. Depends how much my computer can take. Let's be honest. It's pretty beefy, but it is starting to suffer a little bit now. So we'll just see how that all goes. That's no problem, Georgia. I'm as long as you're not falling asleep because of the boredom, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so we've set up something. The barriers are getting covered. This is what we're looking for. And once all of these barriers are covered, we'll have a little bit more of an idea of what the terrain's going to look like. It'll start coming together. And we'll start getting a little bit of a vision of what things are going to look like. And what I'll be doing is I'll put all of my tropical rocks in first, and they'll be on this side, and then they'll start to fade out on the other side. Then we can start peppering in little bits to have a nice little bit of a transitionary period as it goes into. And I might actually leave this here so that the beavers can just walk up into the area and they don't have to dive into the water to go. It is very overwhelming, Midnight. It can be incredibly. There's so much in it to think about. And one of the reasons that I didn't play it for such a long time was I found it very overwhelming. It was the same with Planet Coaster. I love coaster sims and stuff. But it does get very, very overwhelming, very time consuming. I'm sure I'd have more stuff to do, like min-maxing in 2 Point Campus if I didn't play this so much, but honestly, oof. While we're on then, what do you think we're going to get as a new course bundle then in 2 Point Campus? What would you like to see? That's what I want to know. I have a lot of stuff that I'd quite like to see. Like a lot of the ideas that I've had, you kind of already have them as courses, and obviously 2 Point Campus prides itself on having like unique options in terms of what's available to us in terms of the courses and things. So I want to kind of know what you'd love to see in terms of new courses. That's my question to the 2 Point Campus community that I've come over. These are going to be too big, actually. We cannot have these in. We're going to need to use some of these smaller rocks because I want to make this a waterfall. So we need to... Let's go with this one. And we will, rather than... We'll align to surface, and then we'll have it snap onto our barrier here. I need a drink reminder. Drink reminder in the chat. Okay. That's better. Ooh. A 2-point animal game would be good, actually. I like that. But, yeah, an animal course would be a good shout. I'd like to see something like that. That would be a really good one, actually. I didn't think about that. Thanks, Ian. I should put one of those in. That should be an emote. If I can find a way... I don't know how YouTube works in terms of streaming. I know with Twitch and stuff you can have custom emotes and all sorts. And I think you can on YouTube, but I've not had enough time to experiment and play with it. So I would quite like to see like a thrift shop course or something where something textile based where they kind of not design costumes but like recycle old clothing. That doesn't come from my obsession with going to second-hand shops and stuff, but I think that would be a good one. Because I think there's got to be something that kind of detaches those courses from reality in a way. So I think that would be a good shout, maybe. I don't know. That would be something I'd like to see. And maybe an expansion on the cookery course would be a good one. But I do like the idea of some sort of animal care course. I think that would be really cool. And, you know, we've got to have some sort of reference to 2-Point Hospital as well. And I think maybe a janitorial course would be a good one. Like, why can't we have janitors that we train on campus and then they go into our workforce? Right, okay, so that, like, rock barrier is now up, and we've kind of hidden all of the actual glass barriers that we've put in. And then over this area, this is where we're going to have our viewing areas. And what I want to do is I just want to make 2 rounded holes in here. So to actually start that, we're going to just get rid of this group. We're going to start a new group, and we're going to get our construction tab up here, and we're going to go... okay, no, not that. We need to go to architecture. And wall pieces, and I think there is a plaster wall with a hole in it somewhere. I'm not going to be able to find it now. Oh, right, okay, they were here. There it is, plaster wall, circle, window. As long as it's weird, I'm okay with it. Yeah. I had a feeling you might say that, Lep, and I don't know why. Right, so we know that the barrier here is a little bit lower down. So if we can make some sort of circular construction here. You can see there we dip down. So this might be too much of a... So, rather than doing that, if we find those... I know what we'll use as a guide. We have those African... There they are, the bracelet shapes. Oh, yeah! That's what I'm looking for. So, if we do something that's kind of resembling... we need something small, though. I don't want to use these. I just want to use something similar. Do we have anything else that could work? But these would be really cool. This gives me an idea for when we do something in like an African themed area, because that is a really cool shape to use, so I'll probably be using that. But we need something rounded. These circular mud walls that are 1 meter, now we can't actually use those because they are built on the grid, so that's not going to work for us. But if we can find some other sort of rounded shape that we can just use, and we'll just align it with the glass there, What about just typing round? Giving me station surrounds and stuff. So what about circle? Nope. I have been streaming since the start of this year. I think I did the first one, but I've been creating content on YouTube for about 2.5 years now. Yeah. So about 2.5 years. I probably should have informed people in the 2 Point Campus Discord so that I could get that creator thing. But I'm too humble to just brag about myself, really. So yeah, I don't really speak about it enough. I just kind of like to do my thing, and then that's that. And just kind of hope at some point people will discover me. And it's because it started out as a hobby during lockdown, and the content creation was just something to keep me going. I work in creative industries. Well, I used to, not anymore. And I was running a business, and during lockdown we couldn't actually... Oh, amazing, Midi. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much. I would love that. And then I'll maybe feel a bit more inclined to just kind of shout about it. But yeah, I like to grow small because I'm all about the quality of the people that are coming in here and watching the streams and creating a kind of community to build around is what I'm all about, rather than just having kind of, you get a lot of people just kind of subscribing to things and then they don't stick around and things. I'm just looking for people who are really, I like to create things I like to create quality content, and I think that kind of is something that I'm hoping will attract quality viewers and things like that. So I don't know how to describe it. How does that work? But yeah, I just I'm looking more to create a nice, welcoming community where everyone is just, having a nice time together and things, and talks to each other while I'm just babbling away. Oh, that'd be great, Midi. Thank you. Yeah, I'll whenever I do a 2 Point again, I'll bring it back. I actually need to do the DLC for 2 Point Hospital. I haven't touched that yet, and I finished my playthrough long ago. So, yeah, if I do any new 2 Point Campus stuff, I will be. I'll definitely post it in there. It would be great to have more people come around because that is a lovely community. Everyone's been so welcoming there, and it's been really nice, especially Lep. Oh, good. I'm really pleased. I like to think I help a few people out with some of the things that I've done, but as well, people have helped me. I've had a lot of people give me tips, and I've just made videos on them and credited them for helping me out, and it's been really useful. I still need to find this piece. I think what I might end up doing is just using those African pieces, because I'm just going to be using them as a guide, and we'll let's use them. Let's go. We're wasting time here. We need to crack on. Right, African bracelet shapes going in. We'll just sink it in there. Done. And now we'll grab another one. Let's just... Are they different sizes? I think they're different sizes. So I'm going to do like one of each here. And then we'll do another one on the end there. Oh, thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Midi. And yeah, honestly, as well, thank you, Lep. You did bring them in here, so I really appreciate that. That's really nice of you. Yeah, like I don't shout about it a lot. I just, I have my Discord set up, which again, these guys force me to do it. Yeah, Bart, that's a good idea. Log slicers will come in. What I'll do is, I just want to use this as my guide. Then I'll build up the rocks, and then we'll put in some log slicers to finish it all off. And hello, Bart. Welcome to the stream. Let's go back to our nature tab then, because we want to get some rocks in now to just give this a bit of an edge. Because as you can see, oh god, let's take a line to surface off so I can put these in a little bit more effectively. We'll bring these down, get them nice and level with the soil there. And as you can see, those rings are already being obscured a little bit. But that's okay. We are going to be making some adjustments. I just need to get the rock profile built up again. And then we can start building this out a little bit more. Right, that's good. So we know we need to make these a little bit smaller. So let's go back to our construction tab. I will try log slicers. Where are we? Got the Australia log there. So maybe something like this. Yeah, I think I can see this working. If we just drop it down. If I go 15-degree angles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap it to the axis there. Now, we need to make these quite small. So, is it doing the random rotation tool again? Yeah, it is. Okay, right, that works. So, if we now duplicate this, bring it up. We want it world axis again, and then 15-degree rotation. Back to that. Then we'll go like that again, and then rotate again. I wonder, what are those? Are there small branches or something somewhere? Thank you, Midnight. That's really, really nice of you. I really appreciate that. Okay. There's twigs somewhere, isn't there? I can't remember if they're in nature or... Oh, wait. Oh. Hang on. Now then. If we can make something out of these bristlecone pine branches, I think that's going to be a much better idea. So, where are we looking then? The bristlecone pine branch. Now, where is it? Is that... okay. I've just been struck by a wave of inspiration, and we're going to run with it. And I just hope that the beavers are okay with it. Thank you so much, Midi. That's really, really appreciated, honestly. So if we just do something like this, right? Just bear with me very, very slightly, because I think this could work and this could look really good. Now, what I want to do is I just need to, let's just double check. This is Tiger and North America. It's going to work. The beavers are going to like it. It's fine. Now, if we run this all the way along in some sort of weird configuration, we can then fill in the rest with rocks and stuff. And then if we put in things like the actual... Wow, that's big. We don't want that. Maybe these smaller ones would be a better idea. Right, so I'm going to drop these down, and then we'll rotate them around a touch. Back on the world axis, and then we'll try and match these to the curves of the rings here. They don't have to be perfect, but if we have these branches poking out of like rocks and stuff, we can have them overlapping and creating these really nice little structures here. Just going to reset that, and then we'll rotate it around again. Sink that down into the ground there. Oh my god, what a... Ah, yes! This is going to be brilliant. Okay, I'm getting excited now. We're getting somewhere. And then we run this down to here. So we've got these little viewing areas. And if we just push everything back a little bit, we've got to make sure that it's overlapping through the glass. And then what we can do is Bart's idea of using the wooden pieces, rather than doing them round, we'll put them in as little supports. So next up, we'll get some more of those bristlecone pines. And we'll see if we can find something a little bit different. I really like this long one here. So if we can, it's just a little bit invasive for my liking. But what I'll do is we'll run it across the bottom here. How's that? So they don't need to be like a complete circular viewing area. As long as we kind of earmark where we're going to have these things, we should be able to just create some nice little windows of odd shapes rather than having like a complete circle. And it'll just give it a little bit more of a, I don't know, a kind of natural look rather than it being this manufactured piece. So we just need to, obviously those bristle cones, their root work there, it is a little bit odd looking. If we just pull this out, move it up a little bit further. I'm going to get rid of that there. And then we'll put something in there in the middle. And what we'll do is we'll make some rock work going in the middle there as well. And we're just going to create this like weird mesh of these little roots that look a bit gnarled. And it kind of fits in with the beavers. They would have, you know, they'd be using this to create their dams and stuff. And it almost actually looks like one of the areas from the Elder Scrolls, actually. It's like the Shivering Isles, or in Vardenfell, where you have the giant mushrooms and stuff. So it takes on a kind of mystical look to it. And then we'll just lay a couple of these roots in. Yeah, I'm starting to get some pretty gnarly lag going on here, which is not great. And then if I can, I'll try and move the path a little bit closer so that guests can actually see it. But yeah, it's the Shivering Isles. The Shivering Beaver Isles. You know I'm going to have to call one of these beavers Shea Gorath. Maybe I'll get in touch with, oh God, who is it? Wes. Is it Wes? Who voices Shea Gorath? And Hamius Mora, actually, in the new expansion. I'll be honest, I can only do this on stream. When I'm on my own building, when I'm creating the video and stuff for them, my God, it's frustrating. Like, the amount of times I've been like, God, I don't want to do this anymore. It's taken like years of patience and practice to just be able to do something in Planet Zoo, because it's so intricate and time consuming, and you better believe if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong, as I think I've already demonstrated. Yes, that's the one. I can never remember his name. Right, we'll get rid of the final bracelet shape there, and then we have this really nice viewing area. Next up, what we're going to need to do, though, is put in some rocks, and we're going to, once again, we're going to find our biome. tiger, continent, North America, and this is where we're going to start putting in our actual rocks that work within this biome. So we're going to go random rotation. That's just going to make our life a little bit easier. And then we're going to start dropping these in, and we'll begin putting them in this area here in the gaps between our bristlecone pine roots. And we want these to kind of go all the way up to the top here so that they hide the extra parts of the barrier that we don't want to poke through and interfere with our guests' viewing pleasure. So there are going to be some pieces here that are going to be a little bit difficult, but that's okay. We can just change the rock that we use, rotate it a little bit, put it into place, so it kind of looks like these roots are pushing through the rocks. And then we just gradually once again build up. I need a smaller rock. That's huge. Oh, it's not. It was just very close to my camera. And again, building this up. Now what we don't want to see is any of the glass poking through either. We kind of need to hide the glass in these areas too. Just tiny little bits here. And one there. We'll just have those roots kind of poking out of the rock again. And then the whole structure will just kind of fall down into the land here. And then we'll be decorating this with foliage and stuff, and some, I guess, pillars of soil. And I'm just using the same rock here over and over again. Let's just do a quick check. See, Georgia, are you still with us, or have you fallen asleep? Well, what animals do I not? Well, yeah, I've got quite a few in the zoo at the moment. I can't remember if I've actually put them in yet, because we've basically had a little bit of an idea where it got all out of control, and I had to take some of my animals out because they were breeding like crazy, and the population was out of control. I'm really impressed with that. I don't know how that's kind of come about. But let's take a quick break while we are admiring this, and I'm kind of I don't know, stunned by my own creativity. We'll say that. Stay humble though, Lee. Let's not be arrogant about it. Right, okay. I will show you. So we have some grizzlies. Our mama grizzly and her two cubs over here. And then we've got a papa grizzly at the back here. They've got this really nice viewing area. Guests kind of walk along here. And down here we have more grizzlies. Again, another little family. Thanks, Ian. More grizzlies down here. And then coming into this area here, yes, we are empty in here. But we had, yeah, I've not yet put the animals back in because they've been naughty and just doing too much breeding. Over here, this was our caiman. Nice bit of diving area and stuff. And then over here, we have like a mixed species habitat. Now in this area, we have maned wolves. There's a capuchin and 9-banded armadillo and giant anteater and a few others. Loads of... This one's like a big mixed species habitat, which I had a lot of fun doing. We have jaguars in this one when they're not boxed up and put up in our trade centre, and they've got this really nice like temple that they can roam around in. I absolutely would. I'd totally pass out. You should have seen me playing the horror games, honestly. It was an absolute nightmare. I forgot to breathe. The capybaras live here. And this is what's interesting, because the water from the habitat up here that we're building goes into it. So we're going to have some nice waterfalls coming down. And then over here we have dwarf caimans. And then cougars in this area. and a bunch of different tropical animals in this area too. Then, over in our entrance, we just kind of have some nice forested walkways and a car park and some research centres and stuff. Through this forest, you will come to our American bison, which have this really nice all the way around area that they graze in. Moose live up here. We do need to sort out the fox transfer, actually, Georgia. So what I'll probably do is I'll do a Discord stream. That's kind of just for people who are in the Discord. Do you know what? I haven't played Dredge, but one of our regular viewers, Journey, she's played it and it looks amazing. I'd love to play it. It's one that I'm going to kind of look out for when I've got a bit of time to sit down and play it. It looks incredible and also a little bit spooky, which I'm quite excited about. Then we got a nice big research centre here. And over in the other part of the zoo, which was the first thing I did, we've got a lovely old town here. And it's been a long time since we did Old Town. But Old Town has a red fox sanctuary. Oh, there's some foxes in here. So we've got a couple of little red foxes here who've just had cubs. These are my favourites. These are my favourites, the red foxes. We've got all sorts of different patterns here. So some of them have kind of gotten the albino trait. Some of them have got grey traits and stuff. And they've had babies. And then in the other side, we have... Yeah, there's an albino here. Oh, look at those eyes. Yeah. This makes me happy. And then over here we have some Shawalski's horses. Big horses. I like these guys as well. And they have like this really nice barn in here, which is cool. This area here, we have our red deer, who've also had babies. There's a lot of babies coming to Arcadia at the moment. And it's mainly because when I did all of that sorting on stream a couple of weeks ago, I introduced new breeding partners, basically. And that's going to allow us to get a nice new kind of influx of animals. We've got a lovely barn here that's filled with bats. We'll just go have a little look in here. There they are. Egyptian fruit bat. Having a lovely little fly around in the barn. And then, oh, that was terrifying. It's still terrifying. The game's gone very laggy. Right, okay. Let's take a moment. I love the bat barn. That was one of my favourite builds as well, actually. A lot of detail went into that one, and a lot of time, actually. So, yeah, that was one I was very proud of. Then we've got some, oh my god. This is what happens when I don't do any management. Look at all of those baby tortoises. Would you like some zoo with those tortoises? Oh, God. Okay, I need to do something about that. We've got some striped skunks in here somewhere. I think they might be in their burrows. And then over here, through our lovely old town, we have the European fallow deer and the European badger, who have also been breeding like crazy. Oh, that's lovely, Georgia. Oh, wow. Rescued from customs at Heathrow. Wow. This little badger here looks like a very tiny... Oh, he's been fighting. It's like a very tiny polar bear. Right, okay, let's get back to the build. But yeah, that was a very quick zoo tour. If you want my when you actually click on my channel, there's a really nice little tour of season 1 of this zoo, which doesn't have any of the tropical stuff in. But yeah, there'll be a bit more of an advanced tour at some point. If a polar bear and a rat had a baby, that's exactly it. Yeah. Okay, so this is done. We have hidden as much of the barrier as we can. Now, before I start decorating any further, we're going to do our transition phase between our different rocks. So what I want to do is grab some of the cladding pieces here, and we'll start just sinking them in. We're going to add them to our group here. So if we just grab this. Yeah, I think that's the best though, not not transporting these animals halfway across the world after buying them from somewhere and things like that. I think it's always best if they happen to be some sort of customs seizure or something, because the illegal animal trade is really something that needs to be stopped very, very quickly. There's a lot that needs to be done in terms of poaching animals and things like that. And I think a lot of the there's a big focus on sea animals, not so much on land animals, I guess. Things like even the small exotic pets like scorpions and things. There's a very big trade on them, and it's never good. These animals kind of, yeah, they don't get a good treatment, really, do they? And it's nice to see that there are some zoos that are working with these customs officers to rehome animals that might be seizures and stuff, which is always the best thing for them. Give them a nice environment and things. Reminds me of the Save a Fox Foundation in the US, who do all of that sort of stuff, because obviously, it's illegal to have a fox as a pet, and people don't really realize how much effort they take and what they need to be in terms of their domesticated life. And having organizations that comes in and does all of that work is really nice to see. So we're just going to come in and do a little bit more rock work here to just kind of try and get a little bit of a structure to the rest of this build. What time are we on? We've got about half an hour left. So we'll just finish sinking in some of these rocks, and then I think we're going to start creating some barriers. Or at least working on the terrain. And I think that means we're going to need to actually get some beavers, because I'm going to need to see what their traversable area is. So let's head on over to our workshop, and we'll bring in some North American beavers. Ooh, you're cheap. We'll have you, Benaim. And do we have a female? No, we don't. Okay, let's have a look at what's available. We want one with good fertility. Jacine, bad immunity though. So we'll grab that one anyway, and we'll just hope that these guys are going to do the business. Oh, these two were on. Yep, Georgia, they're still here. I haven't gotten rid of them. Right, so we'll just wait for our beavers to be put into their habitat. This is where things might go wrong. Thanks for coming along, Lep. I really appreciate it, and thanks for bringing some of the 2 Point Campus community. I really, really appreciate that. That's really nice. So I will hopefully see you in the next one. And have a good night. Ooh, we're getting a bit of a slowdown here. Okay, no, it's okay. We've got a beaver coming in. And another beaver coming in. Now, we just need to make sure they don't immediately run off. And then we'll pause. Now, we need to just bring up our heat map. Oh, I've gone bright. And we can see the traversable area here. Now then, they can get out up here. They can get out all the way around here. So we are going to need to do a little bit of work to sort it all out. But I think we need to build a barrier to begin with. So what I want to do is I want to create a basic barrier. And I think this will probably be the last thing we do tonight. We'll just make a nice barrier. We'll get it all sealed in. And I don't want to use logs here because beavers. So we're going to use some metal. I'm going to create a nice metalwork barrier. Now, I always liked these aquatic fence ends. But they have a little bit of a... What are you doing? Align to the surface, please. Sometimes the game just thinks it's one big joke to me, doesn't it? Right, let's have a look at what else we can use. Ooh, what about New World stuff? That's what I was looking to do for this next kind of development, is using the New World pieces. So these columns could be what I'm looking for. So if we use the 4-meter ones that have a bit more height to them, we're just going to reset everything. And what I'll do is I'll build the actual barrier first, then we'll move it into position. So these columns are really nice. Let's have a look. We can't actually colour them, so that could be an issue. But next up, let's put in some sort of construction piece from the New World pack again. I'll probably use mesh, but I do want to make sure that I'm creating something that looks a little bit different, a bit unique. And I do also like these fences, so if we can kind of incorporate these a little bit. And the idea I'm looking for is to have some sort of crossover. So we have these nice little New World fences here. And then if we just sink this post down a little bit more. And then bring this New World fence up as well onto the top. But we'll flip it. Bring that up. And then this is where we duplicate. We add it into a group. Maybe that doesn't work on the top or the bottom. There's too much kind of going on there. So what about this New World fence instead? I've used this one before and I do like it. I want to put some glass in the middle of it. Maybe we should just use this one. This is my go-to New World fence and I really like it. So I'm going to use this one. We'll bring this back down. But we want to sink that in so that it's just the wood that pokes out. Then we grab that, pull this all the way across to there. I think the colour of these isn't going to work. I'm going to need to put a light on in here because it's gotten dark very quick. There we go. That's better. We're starting to wind down a little bit now. Yeah, the music's calming me down a lot as well, Georgia, actually. Okay. I don't think these columns are going to work. If we could change the colours, I think it would be a really good shout, but not being able to change the colours really puts me off. So we need to find something different. I still want to use New World pieces because I do like them and I do want to kind of keep that theme going. But we need an alternative. And I wonder if... Hey, this could be an idea. What if we use the New World lampposts? See you later, Midi. Thank you so much for coming. Now, honestly, I appreciate that so much. That means a lot. And I'm glad everybody welcomed you. And I look forward to seeing you again. Hope you have a great night, honestly. That's made my day, that, honestly. It's really nice to see, like, two communities that I have a lot of love for coming together on the stream. So that's been really nice. That's made my night, that. Right, so... Thank you all for being on your best behaviour tonight as well. Then we'll put in 2x4 metre wall panels. I think this is going to work. I am a little bit concerned that it looks a little bit top heavy and a bit strange, but I think we're going to be able to manage this. What I want to do is I want to put in these wall panels. We want to bring them up to here. And then we'll duplicate this again. But what we'll do is we'll put down some sort of wooden structure or metal from the New World pack. Maybe... Or rather than the New World pack, I guess we could just use the metal beams, because they kind of match the lampposts there, like these ones. What about the small metal beams? There we go, that one. Okay. Okay. Credit to Georgia. So the colours don't quite match, but I don't think that's a problem. It works. I'm slightly concerned by these. The problem is I really like the boxes around the bottom. So if I have to drop them down, it kind of defeats the object in a way. Unless we just drop them down a little bit like that. And now we'll merge them into a group. And we'll kind of have it start here, so I'll know that I need to continue the rock going all the way along there. Oh, yes. Good idea, Ian. That's what I'll do. I'll drape some foliage on the lamp. That's a good idea. It just looks a little bit... I don't know. There's something about it that I don't like. But what I might do is... Here's an idea. We'll make sure that these lights are always turned off. They don't have power going to them yet anyway, so that's fine. If we... I don't want to duplicate that, but what I do want to do is... Let's find those string lights. Hello, Wolfie. Did you were you raiding tonight? How did it go? Is it good? Is it fun? Right, what I'm going to do is we're going to go North America and Tiger. And then we're going to drape some foliage. So if we swap... Wait, beavers, were they tropical as well? I better check that. I'm sure they were, but I just need to... I need to be sure. No. Okay. So we need tiger, grassland, or temperate. Temperate is ivy, so that's good. Oh, more focus on puzzles than damage. That's good. Because I don't do damage. I'm going to be working on my arcanist after this, actually. Let's go temperate and grassland. Now, if we can find some ivy or something just to drape over this, like Ian suggested, that's going to look really cool. And we can actually finish this one off. Then we'll run our fence all the way around, and then we'll call it a night, because we've surprisingly done quite a lot after a very slow and bitty start. I wonder if wisterias would work. I mean, not working when they're snapping like that, but they might. Ah, this is it, the white birch branch. That's what we're going to make our beaver dam out of. So, let's take off position snap. I think we're on to something here with the wisterias. So if we can put some of these smaller wisteria clusters just kind of coming up the side of this, like that. I think this is a very good idea. It's not exactly draping stuff, is it? But I think it's going to look pretty good. And it just frames little bits of it, I guess. Because then, if I'm going to run some rocks further on down here, we can kind of... Yeah, I think this is going to work. I think this is going to work. And if we just have kind of like a mix between different types of wisteria. But I think what we might need to do is... I'm just going to move these away for a second. Then I want to grab these pieces again. And I'm going to split those from the group. Then we'll move this group back into position. That's my thought exactly, Georgia. Duplicate and then foliage. You guys are good. So we'll delete this one. And then this is our master structure for this fence. And once again, the game's having a little bit of a slow period, so we're gonna just give it a second to catch up with me. There we go. And that almost fit perfectly. But now it's going to allow me to just shift my barriers a touch. In fact, what I'll do is we'll not do the barrier yet. We will duplicate this. We'll move it across. And then I'll adjust the barrier. Yes, an animal has escaped, whatever you say. I don't think it has because it's still in there and I'm just going to give it a new barrier, so leave me alone, stop shouting at me game. We're going to pull this in, we're going to rotate it around, and we're just going to try and match it up as best we can. Don't think that's going to work, so we're going to grab these barriers here and we're just going to push everything back a touch just to give me a little bit more space to work with. Something like that. And then we'll edit our barrier again. Maybe this is going to be our entrance barrier. So we'll just get rid of those two. I'm sure there was a way to adjust these barriers a bit more freely, because it doesn't seem to want to do what I want it to do right now. In fact, I think I know what I can do actually, so it's fine. It's fine. The game is not behaving right now, honestly. There. And then I'm going to move this. It's a little bit off-center, but if we now make that a null barrier, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll try and just adjust it accordingly. But it does have this slight barrier problem. But now we can move that right up to the edge there. And then we can extend our barrier right the way along to here. Fill in more rock work along there, and then we'll have our cliff going all the way around. So we are getting somewhere finally. This piece then, we're just going to edit this. We're going to remove that bit, and I'll leave that in, and we'll work on a way of kind of creating some sort of void there that we can fill in and sort out that doorway, because it's still a little bit weird looking and I would like to sort it. I don't mind the fact that the actual staff are just going to be on the guest kind of pathway. That's not an issue. So we can work around that. Now, this important alert is literally just because the animals have escaped, but I think now they'll be okay. And then we can duplicate this. We'll slap a slight rotation on it there. bring it to here, and out a touch. Maybe to around about here. That works. Now I don't think we need to carry this on all the way around, because we'll put some rocks here. Just going to smooth that down though. Maybe we could fit in another one just on the edge of this path. Like that. Now we're going to come back to our rocks again. We're going to get rid of the grassland and temperate. We're going to bring back in tropical. Turn off or align to surface, and then we're going to start building again a little bit of a profile here. And I think we might actually continue the barrier on up to this area, because our beavers are probably going to be able to get onto this platform here, so we can have a nice little bit of an overhang for them. Let's get our random rotation on, and we'll start finishing off here. We don't actually need to do tropical rocks on this bit, because we're pretty much well clear of the tropical biome now. But this is going to give us a little bit more of an idea for what we can do in terms of resizing this habitat and giving our beavers a little bit more space in the open land. So this is just looking messy right now, but it's just so we've got a little bit of an idea. You know how it works. We don't need to do too much here to... And then what we'll do is we can now kind of flatten this out so that it comes right to this edge here. And then we'll get our terrain stamp tool on the ramp. We will make our length a little bit longer, and then we'll sink this down and we'll create a kind of ramp going up here. Come back in with our smooth tool and smooth all of that down. So now we're creating a nice little bit of a cliff edge here. We can play around with some more of the rocks. We've kind of got something starting to come together. And the basis of this is now pretty much done. Which means we can go back to our barrier. It is quite ASMR-y, isn't it, the smoothing tool? So if we get now, grab this, we can pull this. Apparently we can't, it won't let us, because it's obstructed. And I think that's because these are still glass barriers. So we'll just change these. We will make these null barriers. And then now we should be able to free... No, apparently not. We can with these though, so that's okay. We're going to bring these all the way to the edge of this part of the habitat. Okay, so that's an issue. Whatever that is, whatever's going on there is a problem. So let's go here. We'll add in a brand new piece, and then we can bring this all the way around, and then hopefully... Yeah, it does not like that at all for some reason. It'll go there though. So with this, if we can kind of pull that in there. See you later, Ian. Thanks for watching. And good night. Have a good sleep. Right, okay. That, I think, is much better. And then over here, if we bring these barriers all the way out, so we've now got a nice kind of area where we know we want to stop our beavers escaping, and it gives us the final kind of outline of the entire build. Now, I know I said I was going to finish with these barriers, and decorating them we kind of know what we're doing. So I think it's only fair that we start working on our beaver dam now, just so that we can kind of be like, right, okay, we're making progress. So it's birch branches, isn't it? Here they are. Right, white birch branches. Now, these are tiny, so I want to start with some of the bigger ones. Yeah, these are absolutely tiny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these, get rid of that platform, and then keep this one. I could still build up some rocks there, but this is the big step. So we are going to need to kind of create some little platforms to kind of make this structure. So with that in mind, I'm going to just duplicate this jetty bedding platform for now, and then I'm going to use this to create some layers and before we finish, I'm just going to show you exactly what I'm kind of going to try and create for the beaver dam. So what I'll be doing is I'll be laying these branches and twigs down, and we'll just be gradually like rotating and moving and making them look a little bit different so it doesn't all look uniform. I'm just going to quickly reset this to the world axis, and then we will go back to our nature tab. We'll grab the white birch branch and we will put that down here, reset that to the world axis, and then start dropping it down. So what I want to do is I want to create kind of like a platform using these sticks. We need to turn off that random rotation, don't we? It does not rotate at a good angle at all. Look at that, man. Right, okay, that's fine. We'll rotate and then we'll do our own slight rotation on it. Bring it back down so that it's level. And then we just continue this all the way along, building up like a loose network of these twigs. And then what we'll do is we'll just grab a couple of them. We'll duplicate them, pull them across, and then we'll just like rotate them in the opposite direction. stick them on top. And then the aim is going to be to kind of like create this little network of them intersecting each other and all of that sort of stuff, until eventually we've created this massive wood and logs that we're then going to build into a roof. So the idea would then be we kind of grab this, for example, we duplicate it, we bring it over here, and we put it in place like this. And then it kind of just goes all the way around. But we want to try and keep it quite low without it disrupting the pathing of the beavers. Obviously this all looks very samey right now, and that's not what I'm looking for. So when I finish here, we'll be going back into this, and that'll be the next part that I work on. Creating this little patchwork on here so that we have that 4x4, maybe we do like a 4x2 swatch of these logs. Then we'll build up the dam with those logs. I've seen a lot of people do like rounded dome shaped sort of things that look like little tents. I'm not going to be trying to do that. But what we can also do is we can start putting in the thatch pieces as well, and we can just merge it all into one. So it's all kind of like leaf litter and rubbish and twigs and stuff like that. And that's it. So I'm going to call it for tonight because we've done quite a lot today. We have a really nice basic looking build going together now, and you've got the kind of structure of what I'm looking to create. We made a fence, we sorted out all of the water features and stuff, and all that remains to do now is finish off the entire decoration of the whole thing. And I think what I'll probably do is I'll also kind of make use of these fences to kind of have some little signposts all the way along using those lights. So thank you all for watching. I've had a really good time hanging out tonight. Honestly, really appreciate the love and the community we've got here. It's amazing. It makes my day every time knowing that we're going to have like a good time doing this sort of thing. And I really appreciate you all stopping by. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.